So what is database? If you see, database is a storage system that has the collection of data. So relational database stores the data in the form of tables that can easily retrieved, managed, and updated. So we can retrieve the data, manage the data, as well as update the data. And SQL, if you see, if you say we have many databases, MySQL is a database, and then we have Oracle is there, MongoDB is there, SQL Server, Cassandra, PostgreSQL, and all. So these are few things. And then if you see what is SQL, okay, so SQL is the language. So SQL is the language that communicate with databases. Okay, so that communicate with databases. So SQL is a language that communicate with databases. So SQL commands helps you to store the data, process and analyze the multiple data from the multiple databases. So SQL is structured query language. This is the one where we use mainly. And so if you see what are the features of SQL, SQL lets you access with any data within the relational database. SQL is very fast to retrieve large amount of data very effectively. Next, again, with SQL, we can work with different database systems like Oracle, IBM, Microsoft, and all. So SQL helps you to manage databases without knowing a lot of code. So if you have no knowledge of code also, you can there is no it is not SQL, it is like it is very hardly 2 to 3 lines of code for any complex thing, guys. That's it. So generally we have small means like a small amount of code is used in SQL. That is the thing. So fine, so these are the things. And again, I have told you regarding different types of controls. DDL, data definition language, it can just create, alter, drop, truncate, and then DML, data manipulation language, select, update, delete, insert. And then again, we had seen DCL. You have something called as grant, revoke, and TCL, transaction control language. So commit, rollback, and other things. Fine. And we had seen different data types. And if you see, every language has its own data types. Similarly, SQL also has its own data types. So for numeric, we have integer, small int, bit, decimal. For approximate number, float, real. Data, we have date, time, timestamp. String data type, char, varchar, text. Binary data type, binary, var binary, image. Like that, we have different data types. Okay, and we have different operators also. So for arithmetic, positive, negative means like plus, minus, multiplication, okay, division, percentage, and all logical. We have all, and, any, between, exist. Comparison, we have equal to, not equal to. So lesser than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not greater than, not lesser than. So these are the different logical operator comparison operators we have. Okay. So today let us see certain comparative operators and all. So if you see guys in the last session, if you remember, let me open SQL as well as. So I guess everyone might have installed MySQL by now. So everyone might have installed MySQL. If not, please install this MySQL stuff. Let me see which we had done last time.
In the name of student, we did, sir.
Sure, a student. I don't think so. We had built ABC database, right? ABCD database.
Yes, sir, ABC.
Yes, sir. ABCD. Yes, yes.
I had not saved that one, I guess. No, I had not saved that one. And fine. So ABC, ABC. Let's come here. So this is the database what we had till last time. So ABCD. Yeah, use ABCD. Fine. Create database ABCD. Use ABCD. So now what you have to do is, guys, in order to work with this database, so we had created the students database, if you see last time. So we had inserted certain records, and after that, inserting certain records, we had done some updations, and also these are some things what we had done yesterday. Okay, so what shall we do is let us continue our journey from there. So use ABCD. So first what you have to do, you have to run this use ABCD. So this SQL should know which database it has to use. So I'm saying use ABCD. So right. So we had used that ABCD database. Okay. So in the last session, what are the things we had seen how to create the database? Okay. And after that, we had insert a table. And after that, after creating a table, so after creating a table, we had created a table with the name students. And after that, we had inserted certain records into that table. Okay. And again, we had seen certain commands like select star. So we had used certain condition like where condition in the last session. Okay. And so we had used this sorted also ordered by. Okay. So last name ordered by we had used. So let us check. So we had used this last name ordered by last name ASCII. Okay. So that also we had seen. Fine. So now today what shall we do is anyway we shall continue our journey from there. So string data types. So let us discuss regarding string data types. So, okay, what are the string data types we have? Textual data. So char, fixed length string, varchar means. So what is the difference between? So they may ask you, what is the difference between a char and a varchar? Okay, so char and varchar. Okay, so both deals with textual data. So what is the string and varchar? Both deals with textual data. And so we have string data types. So we have char and we have varchar. Okay, so both this char and varchar deals with the textual data, guys. Okay, so what is the difference between char and varchar? Char is a fixed length string. Okay, so its length is fixed. Whereas varchar, so what is the full form of varchar is variable length string. Okay, so varchar is a variable length string. Okay, so it can vary. Next, text. So we can use this text also. So even text once it will deals with the string data type. So for large text, we use this data type. What is the data type? Text, large text data. Okay, so the text we use for largest text. Okay, for example, I'm creating a table with the name customers. So if you see, I'm creating a table with the name customers. We are creating with the table with the name customers. So if you see in this table customers, this customer ID I'm taking as integer, customer first name varchar, okay, customer last name I'm taking as varchar, okay. So varchar means generally for variable length string we use this varchar. Character it is used for fixed length. For example, customer ID. If you see here, generally customer ID we will have 5 digits or there might be 5 characters or 4 characters, 3 characters, which is fixed. So for fixed one, okay, we can use this character or it is a textual numeric data. We are using this and int for first name. We use varchar. Last name we use varchar, that is variable character. Okay, because some might be short names or some might be big names, something like that. Okay, so that is the thing. And next, if you see daytime, okay, daytime. So day, time, timestamp. So it is used for daytime things. So I'm creating another table with the name orders. Orders ID. Data type is integer. Orders date. If you see what type of data it is, what I'm taking date time. Okay. So generally daytime will have the daytime when the order is taken and all. Okay. So if you see daytime data types, so if you use date, stores date in the form of year, month, day. So if you use date data type, it will store the date in the form of year, month, date. If you take time, it will save, okay, it will stores the time in the form of hours, minutes, second. If you use daytime, it will stores both date and time. So it will stores both date and time. So that means what you are going to get is you are going to get year, month, day, and then hours, and then minutes, and then seconds. So this is how we are going to get if you are using this date time. Okay. So date will get you date, time will get you time in the form of hours, minutes, and second. Okay. So this is an example. Okay. So what is the use is so choosing the right data type. So why you have to choose the right data type is choosing the right data type is crucial in optimizing storage, ensuring data integrity and improve performance. So mainly why we have to choose the right data type is it is crucial for optimized storage of the data, ensuring data integrity and to improve the performance. We used to choose the right data types. That is one thing. Okay. Suppose sometimes what you can do, you can, for example, if you want to store a person's age. Okay, so person's age, almost person's age will be in 2 digits only. Okay, so what in that case, what you can do, you can go for tiny int. Okay, suppose if you want to store some value to the precision. Okay, so after the decimal also you want to store some value with precisions, then what is suitable? Float is suitable. Okay, so we have something called as float. A float is suitable for that one. Okay, and let us come back. Float is suitable. Just wait. Yes. Okay, so we are going into the keys. So before going into the keys, okay. So select star. So let us see something called as limit. Okay, so something called as limit. Select star from students. Let us take this. So the last session we had created this table, select star students table. So student ID, first name, last name, enrollment date. We have few records like this. Okay. So now what I'm doing is if there is something called as limit case. Okay, so limit. Okay, so what is this command? Limit command. Okay, so it will limits the results. Okay, it will limits the result. For example, select star from students limit 5. Okay, so what it will do is it will retrieve first 5 records. So for example, let me go this one. So this is about limit command. So select star from students. If you see, so we are getting how many records? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 records are there. So if I limit to 3, select star from student limit equal to 3. Okay. So what you will get? You will get 3 records. See, we got 2, 3, 4, 3 records. Okay, so limit, it will get a limit. So if I say 5, you will get first 5 records. If I say 3, I will get first 3 records. If I say 2, you will get first 2 records. That is what limit is. So remember this command, limit also. Say first 2 commands. Get, okay. So, and then, so now, if you see, when we create a table, sometimes we say null, not null, null, and all. So let us try to understand what is this, what is this null, and what is this not null. Okay. So let us first create a table. So I am telling you, so I am creating an employee, a table employee. So how to create a table employee? Create table. Table name, what is this employee? Table name. So what is this? Employee ID, this is one column. First name, this is another column. Second K, this one, third one. What is this? This is another column. Middle name. So what we are giving here to this particular columns. So immediately after the name of the column, first you will give the name of the column, guys. After the name of the columns, we have to say what is the data type it is. Okay. So whether it is an integer or varchar or date, time and all. So once this is general hierarchy. So after giving that data type, what you have to do is you have to mention the constraint. Okay. So null, not null and all. Okay. So what is this null and not null? So what are these things called as null and not null? Let us discuss about these concepts, null and not null. Okay. So null and not null. Okay. So null, if you say any column as null, for example, if you take this column null, okay, so this column middle name is null. So what is the meaning? That means it can contain null values. That means it can contain null values. Okay, null values means you can leave it blank. Okay, not entering any value or anything. Suppose if you declare any column as not null, that means you cannot leave that column with no values and all. So it should always have a value within it. So that is the meaning of not null. So that is the thing. If you make a column, not null. So now let us take with an example. So let us create a table with the name employees. So here we are creating a table with the name employees. So here the concept is, guys, we are discussing regarding what is null and what is not null. So we are discussing regarding null and not null. Null means it can be left blank. Okay. Not null. It cannot be left blank. You should fill with that column with any value. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Okay, let us check this one. So come here. So if you see here, I am creating a table with the name employees. So how to create a table? Table name, first column. What is the first column? Employee ID. What is the type of that employee ID? Data type, integer. And constraint, what I am saying, it is not null. That means this column should not be have a null values. First name, second column, what is the data type? Varchar. And I am saying it is not null. Okay, not null means it should not have any null values. The next column is middle name, data type is varchar, and I'm saying null. That means if you leave it blank also, that is no problem. Okay, so this is the table what we are creating. So we are creating a table with the name employees. Run that one. So we had created a table with the name employees. So once we create the table, so select star from employees. What is the name of the table? Employees. Select star from employees. Right. So we had created a table as if now there are no records in that one. So insert certain records into the table. So I'm inserting certain records. So I am inserting employees, employee ID, first name, middle name, first name. Employee ID is 1, first name is John, and middle name is Michael. So if you see, we had inserted that record. If you check the table, you can check. See, employee ID 1, first name John, middle name Michael. So we had inserted that record, guys. Okay, do remember we had inserted that record. Now what I'm doing, I'm inserting one more record. I'm inserting one more record. So this time what I'm inserting, if you see what are the values I am inserting into the table employees. Here employee ID is 2, first name is Jane, middle name is null. Null means I don't know. No, we are not giving any value. If you see here, this is null. It has to accept, it will accept though if you give a null because the middle name accepts null values. Right? Yes, it has accepted. Try to run that one. See, first name, Jane, second employee ID is 2, first name is Jane, middle name is null. Okay, so it is accepting that null values. Now what I'm doing, let us insert another record. So let us insert another record. So this time, employee ID, I'm entering a null value and employee first name I'm giving Emily, middle name I'm giving Sarah. Let us try to insert this record. See, it is throwing an error. If you see here, we are getting a red mark. So what it is saying, employee ID cannot be null because we had declared here employee ID not null. A column is declared with a constraint employee ID not null. But here what you are giving a null value. Okay. So that means it is violating this one. So that is the reason it is throwing an error. Okay. So that is error. Next, for example, come here. So let us try to insert another record. So this time, what I'm saying, employees, first name. If you see this first name, this first name is there. So what is first name actually? First name not null. Okay. But here I am supplementing with a null value. Okay. So otherwise, let us remove that. Okay. We are supplementing with a null value. Fine. So it should not accept because that is not null, but we are giving with a null value. Okay. Null value over there. So that will not accept that one. Okay. So that is what null and not null concept is. So if you see what is null and not null, null, the column can contain null values. Not null, the column cannot contain null values. That it should always have a value. That is the thing. So null and not null. Fine. So null means it can contain null values. Okay. And not null means it should not contain, it should always contain a value. It should not contain any null value, something like that. Okay. And next, let us see another concept called as primary key. Okay. Just a moment, guys. Let us go to some another thing that is primary key. Okay. So I'm creating a table. So let us see what is primary key. So primary key is very important. Let us see what is primary key is. I'm here.